Welcome to a brand new tutorial. Here I'm going to show how to install Windows 10 after Manjaro in UEFI, so we have a dual boot in our drive. If you are not sure what is UEFI or BIOS, read a link that I posted below. Note that the method explained here is UEFI. First of all, to clear some things, I'm not expert in Linux nor Windows. If you ran into some issues during installation, better address that to the specific forums. I'm just showing what worked for me, because I didn't find a proper tutorial for this. Hope it helps. Note, do a full backup of your most important files, because happens. Don't let me say, I told you. First, I use two USB with a minimum of 4 GB, one for ISO for the Manjaro OS, and the other one for the Windows software. Be aware that creating a disk image will erase all data on the USB. Now we are going to create a bootable OS of Manjaro. You go to Manjaro website and click in Try Manjaro. I download the minimal version. Once it is ready, use Rufus, or in this case, I used the SUSE Studio Image Writer Disk Creator for Manjaro to format the USB drive into a bootable one. Open it, find your USB, then, you can drag the ISO or click and select it. Then click Write. From here I'm going to record it manually as it's going to be a lot of restarting. Now we are gonna reboot our device and get into the UEFI. In my case it is by pressing F2 or delete. And we are going to boot directly from the USB that we created before. So, we just boot Manjaro. Recommendation, change your keyboard to your native input language. I did not change mine and it was a pain in the to type things in the terminal. Close the tab. We are going to launch Gparted to create some room for Windows. Note, Gparted it's pre-installed, don't launch it from the taskbar, because it's going to ask for a password that don't exist. Open a terminal and do it from there. Just type sudo gparted. Now it's time to make our partition. We right-click and select Resize/Move. I'm working with a 500 GB SSD M.2. So I'm only leaving 80 GB for Windows. I think for me it's okay. Just need to run a few Windows apps for the school that I didn't know how to install in Manjaro. Then we need to edit the unallocated gigabytes left. Right-click again and select New. Important to select the file system as NTFS. Note, you can change the partition name. I'm stupid and I didn't do it, so I was left with a duckin name that shows as 90 GB partition. Then click Add. Note 2, remember the gigabytes of the partition, as we are going to install their Windows. This is pretty straightforward, but you're warned. Then we click Apply. Here comes the pain of waiting. This is going to be long. I recommend you to go for some snacks. Play some Rocket League. Or you can download the ISO for your Windows installation. Now I'm going to address other things. My ISO is a custom 2004 Windows 10 SUPERLITE version from Spectre. Shout out to Ghost Spectre. I'm going to leave his channel if you want to grab a copy yourself. Another note, this copy of Windows didn't give me problems with the GRUB, I will talk about that some later on. But you may encounter problems with the GRUB. Ducking GRUB. So you are going to repeat the process of getting the ISO image into the second USB. You can do this with only one USB and replace the Manjaro bootable device. But for a more efficient way, 2 is better than 1. Seriously. You may need to boot Manjaro to recover the GRUB. So we restart again and boot from the USB that have your copy of Windows. Select the version you want. I recommend to install the Defender one. Choose your partition. And we are pretty much done. Final note, I don't know if it's because I'm installing Windows in a UEFI and not BIOS, or maybe is because the version of Windows is not that abusive. Luckily I didn't have to restore the GRUB in my Manjaro OS, but 90% of chances that you need to do it, if you install the original version of Windows. Fortunately Manjaro have a good step-by-step guide, if you encounter this problem. Not that big of a deal, just follow along and read carefully. I will leave the link below. It's been a pleasure. Till next time.